All right, in this video, we're going to look at the law of sines and specifically what we call the ambiguous case, where they give us two sides and an angle. This law of sines is exactly the same as we talked about yesterday. And so you can use this version of the proportion or this, it doesn't matter. And you want to make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. Now, what's unique about this is we call this the ambiguous case. And that's because there's potentially two angles that it could be. And here's why that is. If you think about your unit circle, and you think about your pairs, coordinate pairs, this was 0, 1, this is 1, 0, negative 1, 0, so on and so forth. The highest value for sine you're going to find on the entire unit circle is a 1. Okay? Sine can't be anything greater than 1. That's not possible. But also, what happens is, when you do the law of sines and you crank out an angle in your calculator, it's only going to give you an angle in quadrant 1, which sounds fine and good, except that there's an angle in quadrant 2 that has the same sine value. So you have to consider both options to see which one it really is, or is it both? So there's three possibilities. There's a 1 solution, there's a 2 solution, and there's a no solution. All right, and I'm going to show you how to step through each of these. So when you do 1 solution, here's what's going to happen. Let's say you've done your law of sines and you've come up with the first angle, like you found angle B or A, whatever it is, and it lands right here. Then you need to find the angle that's over here in quadrant 2 that has the same sine value. So let's say we found angle A. In order to find this other angle, I take 180, subtract that angle, and see what I get. I then take that angle and I add the given angle back, whatever angle they gave me in the problem, and I look to see is that if that's greater than 180, then there's only one solution. Now, second possibility is I found angle A, I found its angle over here, same process, 180 minus A, and I get some value. Okay, and I add the given number, given angle. If that sum right there is less than 180, then there are two solutions. And this value right here that you found when you subtracted from 180, that is your A2. Don't worry, I'll explain more of this as we do an actual problem too. No solution is when you do your proportions, all that stuff. And when you get down to this point where you've gotten the decimals, you get 1 point something. Whatever this is greater than 1, which means no solution. Now, your calculator's not going to like that. It's going to tell you it's an error, but this is how you know it's going to have an error, because we said before sine can't be anything greater than 1. All right, so we'll model this as we work through these problems. All right, look at this first problem. So they gave me angle A, little a and little b. So I have to start by finding big B. All right, I'm going to put little b, which is 12, over the sine of big B, equals little a over the sine big A. All right, and I'm going to cross multiply and solve for the sine of B. So it's going to be 12 sine of 42 divided by 22. So I find that the sine of B is 0.3650. Now, it's less than 1, so I know that there is an angle. So I'm going to find the inverse sine of this decimal that the calculator just gave me. And you can just copy and paste it if you wish. So angle B then is 21.41. All right. Now to find angle C, I'm just going to take the 180 that makes a whole triangle, subtract the angle I just found, and subtract the given angle they gave me. So that way I know that angle C is then 116.52. Okay. All right. So I need to find little c now. So little c over the sine of big C equals little a over the sine of big A. So I'm going to move my work up here so you can see it better. So for little c, I'm going to do 22 sine of 116.52 divided by the sine of 42. So I'm going to find little c. and I find out that little c is 7.66. All right? So we have solved one triangle. Now we need to decide, is there another one? So what you're going to do is draw your quadrants. And okay, the first angle we found, start with this angle right here, 21.41. That's right here, 21.41. So I need to find out what angle over here has the same sine value. The way to do that is take 180 and subtract 21.41. I get 158.59. Okay? Now, I need to take that angle, because this angle could be another solution, and add it to the given angle, which was 42. When I do that, I get an angle that's 200 degrees and 200.59. Well, that right there is greater than 180, therefore, there's only one solution. Okay, and I'm done. That's it. Okay, you always have to test for a second. And so let's recap what we did. We took 180 and subtracted it, so we found its supplement, added the given, and then looked at our sum. It was greater than 180, so there's only one solution. All right, let's try another one. Okay, I'm giving it all away here. This is a two-solution problem. Okay, A is this, little a is this, little b is this. Okay, so we got to start by finding big B, like we did before. And we're going to have to find big C and little c. Okay, so 12 over the sine of 20.5 equals little b over the sine of big B. So when I cross multiply, so I get a number less than 1, which is great. And so I do the inverse sine. So I find out that big B is 64.78. Okay, now I know two angles of my triangle, so to find angle C, remember what we did to find angle C, we take 180, subtract the two angles what we know, 94.72. Okay, now I need to find little c, so I do little c over the sine of 94.72 equals little a over the sine of 20.5, cross multiply, divide. So I find out that little c is 34.15. Okay, so I have at least one solution to this triangle. Now I need to see, are there two solutions? So what do we do? Okay, think about your graph. The first angle we found was B, so go back to B. This angle is 64.78. That's a 4. I need to find the angle over here that has the same sine value, and I do that by finding the supplement. So I do 180 minus 64.78, and I get 115.22. Then I'm going to take that 115.22 and add it to the given angle, which was A, 20.5. When I do that, I get 135.75, which is less than 180, therefore, two solutions. All right, now that means I have to find a big B2, a big C2, and a little C2 to be complete. Now, the good news is I've already found big B2. Big B2 was that supplement I found, okay? So that being said, to find big C2, I'm going to take 180, subtract my big B2, and subtract the given angle, 20.5. So big C2 equals 44.28. Now I just do another proportion, one more, to find little C2. And I get 23.92. Okay, so you see with two solutions, it's a lot of work, but it's possible. And the good news is not every problem has two solutions, but you do always have to test, okay? So look back at how we tested for our two angles. One more, This is a no solution problem. I'm giving away all the marbles here, but look, let's just work it out so you can see how this is going to go. So you're going to start this just like you would, looking for big B. All right, so little b over the sine of big B equals little a over the sine of big A. So I'm going to crank it out. 25 sine of 85 divided by 15. Now put this in your calculator. Okay, what I get is 1.8595, whatever. Now remember what we said about our unit circle. The greatest value for y, or sine, is 1. This is greater than 1. 1.85 is greater than 1. Therefore, there is no solution to this problem. Okay? So you're done. You have to show me this work. You got to show me that the sine value comes out to be greater than 1 to be your justification for no solution. Okay? Now I know it's a lot, but I want you to try one on your own. And when we get to class, we will try this. We'll talk about it together. Good luck and see you in class.